buried now, they stink.
Well, what the hell do you think you smell like after you've been laying out for 2 days? A goddamn lily of the valley? They'll be buried soon enough. Keep digging.
Dig and scratch, dig and scratch.
Who's got a cigarette, huh?
When you're digging trenches or digging graves?
I would take opium if nobody's got a cigarette.
When you're not digging graves, you're scratching at fleas. God, there's more fleas in this army.
That's what the army's made for, isn't it? Fleas. Somebody's got to feed them.
They scratch her every day. Can you imagine?
All right, Miss
I'll take my rifle for you.
Lift dirt, soldier.
Sergeant, listen. I heard about this.
Come on, this ain't no vacation.
Something. I heard about guys taking weeks in combat and snippets in man's army and all sorts.
Hurry up,
Say
I'm
that.
freezing here. I can't feel my feet no more.
I ain't feel my feet for 2 weeks. I ain't had my shoes off in 2 weeks. I wonder if the toe's still connected. I wear an 8A shoe. I wish the credit foot. Something always said. But walking around not even knowing whether you still got those or not.
Friend, I'll make sure the next war you're in is run high.
Spanish-American War, Norman died of fever.
Get back to work! Straight out and fight the war against rats.
Tell you what, Sergeant, I'd rather be killing rats than killing them lot out there. Woo! Look at that.
Rats. Gotta live too, you know?
Yeah? Well, you got it, Sergeant. Here's a token of our regard from Company A.
You stop this march, Doc. I don't like it.
Oh, come on, Sergeant. Disappointed. I mean, this little pedigree chum's only been fed on the choicest young men the United States has turned down the last 20 years.
Come on, punch guy.
Look at that. Look at the powerful shoulders on that thing, eh? That big round belly. Tell you what, farmers, mechanics, society leaders. I bet he ate well, this one. Yeah, I bet he ate really well. Tell you what, I'm getting awful bloody tired of this. I did not enlist in this bloody army to be no bloody gravedigger.
Well, tell that to the president. Keep digging.
Say, this is deep enough. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Dig right down to hell and deliver them over first hand? Right?
A man is entitled to 6 feet of dirt over his face. We gotta show respect to the dead. Keep digging!
I hope they don't put me too far under when my turn comes. I want to be able to come up and get the smell of air.
So to gag you guys and keep digging.
Come on, Sergeant. Can we just get buried? They stink.
All right, Fanny. Next time we ask you to put them in, we'll perfume them for you. How would you like that?
I don't like the way they smell, alright? I mean, I don't have to like the way they smell, do I? I mean, it's not in the regulations, is it? Man's got a right to use his nose, even though he's in this goddamn stinking bloody army.
You talk respectful when you talk about this army, you.
Oh, the lovely army.
Oh, the dear army.
Oh, there's a clean army.
Well, that's a fine way to talk to the president of death.
Well, tell you what, Sergeant, I would talk to you in blank verse. Only I'll run out now, I'm a third down the front line. I mean, what do you expect from us? We're just common soldiers here, not grave diggers.
Come on. Let's put them away. I'm getting blisters big enough to fit for balloons here. What's the difference? They're gonna be turned up anyway the next time the artillery wakes up, right?
All right. If you're in such a hurry, put them in. Put them in. And you, I want 3. You understand? Move!
funny as hell. You don't even look bad.
We'll just get some dirt over them and stink.
Well, if you think you smell so sweet yourself, baby, you ought to wake up. You ain't exactly a perfume man, soldier.
Chalk one up for the sergeant. Nice.
Yeah, you're not exactly a combination of roses and mysterious self, so I can stand you, especially when you don't talk. I mean, at least you're alive, right? Smell and look at this dead one. This gives me the willies. Come on, let's get some dirt over it.
Hold it!
So, why are they now sergeant? So we can dance about them?
We gotta wait for the chaplains to say some prayers over.
Christ's sake, am I not going to get any sleep tonight?
Don't begrudge a man his prayers, soldier. You'd want them, wouldn't you?
I want to sleep peacefully when I go. So where are they then? I mean, do we have to wait around all night, wait for these people to talk to God about these lot?
Who has got a cigarette?
Attention! Here they are.
Is everything ready?
Yes, Father.
Get moving on your father. I'm awfully tired.
God must be so slowly, my son.
Well, he's getting a lot of service recently, isn't he? I'm sure he can like stand a
Shut
little
up,
pushing.
soldier.
Would you like to hold your services first, Father?
Excuse me. There ain't no Jewish boys in there. Reverend, I don't think we'll be needing your services.
But I understand one of them is named Levy.
Yeah, but he ain't no Jew.
With a name like that, we won't take any chances. Father, will you go first?
Well, perhaps we had better wait. There is an Episcopal bishop in this sector. He expressed a desire to conduct a burial service here. He's been doing that in every sector he's been visiting. I think we had better wait. Episcopal bishops are rather sensitive about order.
He's not coming. He's having his supper.
What does God do when a bishop's having his supper?
If you don't shut up, I'll bring you up on charges. Do you understand?
Young man! That is not the way to talk about one of God's creatures.
God's creatures? That's one of God's creatures. All I can say is he's slipping.
You sound bitter, my son.
Christ's sake, can you stop talking and just get on with it? I just want to throw some dirt on them. Sergeant, can you have a word? We've got to get up tomorrow morning. We've got work to do. They ain't got no right keeping us up all night. They can say their prayers together. Christ.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. There is really no need to prolong it. We must think of the living as well as the dead. And as he says, Reverend, God will be able to understand.
Stop there! There's groans coming from down there. Stop those words!
God damn it, why don't they get these things straight?
Pull them out! Get them out of here.
Excuse me, Father,
Which one?
this has nothing to do with you, but I believe there's been some kind of mistake.
All right, sir. I understand.
There. It's coming from here. It's coming from here. Oh!
Captain! Oh, Christ. Carry on. Captain! Where the hell is the captain? Captain! Captain!
Don't go away. Stay with us.
We want to hear the sound of men talking.
We're really not that different from you. We're dead.
That's all?
All?
All.
That's all? Are you afraid of 6 dead men? You who lived with the dead, that so many dead, and eating your bread by their side when there was no time to bury them and you were hungry?
Are we different from you? An ounce or so of blood in our hearts and not in yours. A small difference between us.
Tomorrow or the next day, the lead will be yours too. Talk us are equal.
It's the kid, the one who wrote the dirty poems.
Say something to us. Forget about the grave, as we would forget.
Do you want a cigarette, or
Crazy? I'm not drunk either. They all stood up and looked at us. Look, see for yourself. See?
I see. I was expecting it to happen someday. Too many men each day. Too bad it had to happen in my company. Gentlemen at ease! I'm only telling the generals what I saw.
You're not making this up, Captain.
No, General.
Have you any proof, Captain?
Yes, General. The foreman in burial detail and the sergeant, ma'am.
Time of war, Captain. Men see strange things.
Yes, General.
You've been drinking, Captain.
Yes, General.
When a man has been drinking, he's not responsible for what he sees.
No, General. I'm not responsible for what I saw. And I'm glad of that. I wouldn't like to carry that burden along with all the others.
Come, Captain. Confess now. You walked out into a field of victory, just lately won, and what with the liquor and the smell in the air?
I'm only telling the General what I saw.
Yes, we heard. We forgive you for it. We don't think any worse of you for taking an oath. It's only natural, we understand that. Now, take another drink with us now and forget your ghosts.
But they weren't ghosts. They were men, killed today, standing in graves and looking at me.
Captain, you're becoming trying.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but it was a trying sight. They were looking at me, and what are the generals going to do about them?
Forget it! A man is taken for dead and put in a grave. He wakes from his coma and stands up. It happens every day. You have to expect such things in a war, Captain. Take him out and send him to a hospital.
Hospitals aren't for dead people, General. What are generals going to do about them?
Come on, don't stand there, Crook. You know what the generals are going to do about them? We'll have them examined by a doctor. If they are alive, send them to a hospital. If they are dead, we'll just bury them. That's very simple.
Yes, sir, but
No bad, sir. Listen to me. Take a doctor down with you right now and a stenographer. Have the doctor dictate the official report. Have them witness it, and let's hear no more of it. Did you hear me, Captain?
yes, sir.
That's good.
Captain, stay
Yes,
away
ma'am.
from the bottle.
Yes, ma'am. Is that all, ma'am?
That's all.
Very good, ma'am.
Number 1. Evisceration of the lower intestine. Dead 48 hours.
Number 1. Evisceration of the lower intestine. Dead 48 hours. Same here.
Number 2. Bullet penetrated the left ventricle. Dead 48 hours.
Number 2. Bullet penetrated the left ventricle. Dead 48 hours. Sign here.
Number 3. Bullets penetrated both lungs. Severe hemorrhages. Dead 48 hours.
Number 3. Bullet penetrated both lungs. Severe hemorrhages. Dead 48 hours.
Number 4. Fracture of the skull and avulsion of the cerebellum. Dead 48 hours.
Number 4. Fracture of the skull and avulsion of the cerebellum. Dead 48 hours. Sign here.
Number 5. Destruction of the genitourinary system from shell splinters. Death from hemorrhages. Dead 48 hours.
Number 5. Destruction of the genitourinary system by shell splinters. Death from hemorrhages. Dead 48 hours. Sign here.
Number 6. Destruction of the right side of head from supraorbital ridges through jawbone. A pretty sight for your mother, you would. Dead 48 hours.
Number 6. Destruction of the right side of head from supraorbital ridges through jawbone. You'd be a pretty sight for your
What
mother
are you
if you
doing
were
there?
dead. That's what she said, man.
Yes, I know. Even if you'd be a pretty sight for your mother, you would. Generals wouldn't be interested in that. 6. Is that all?
Yes. They're all dead?
All dead.
Drink, doctor?
Yes.
Doctor,
Yes, sir.
says here in your report that each of these 6 men is dead.
Yes, sir.
Then I don't see what all the fuss is about, Captain. Bury them.
I'm afraid, sir, that can't be done. They're standing in the graves. They refuse to be buried.
Captain, do we have to go into that again? We have the doctor report. These men are dead. Aren't they, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
Then they aren't standing in their graves refusing to be buried, are they?
Yes, sir.
Doctor, would you know a dead man if you saw one?
Yes, the symptoms are easily recognized.
You've been drinking too.
Yes, sir.
The whole damned army is drunk. Look, I want a regulation announced tomorrow morning in all regiments. No more liquor is allowed within 20 miles upon the front line upon pain of death. Got it?
Yes, General. But then how we get a man to fight?
Damn the fighting! We can't have stories like this springing up. It's bad for the morale. Do you hear me, Doctor? It's bad for the morale and you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yes, sir.
This has gone far enough, officer. If it goes any farther, the men will get wind of it. We have witnesses certificates from our registered doctors that these men are dead. Just bury them, Captain, and let's hear no more of it. No again. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
I'm afraid, sir, that I must refuse to bury his men.
Well, this is insubordination, sir.
Well, I am sorry, sir, but it is not within the line of my military duties to bury men against their will. If the general will only think for a moment, he will see that this is impossible.
Captain's right. This might get back to Congress, and God only knows what they'd make of it.
What are we gonna do then?
Captain, what do you suggest?
Stop the war?
Captain! Captain, I would beg of you to remember the gravity of this situation. It admits of no levity. Now, is that the best suggestion you can make, Captain?
Yes, sir. But I have another. If the generals will come down to the graves themselves and attempt to influence these corpses, perhaps that will prove effective. We're 7 miles behind the front now. We could screen the roads to protect your arrival.
That would be under normal circumstances, of course, but we'll see. Look, in the meantime, it must be kept quiet. Remember that. Not a word. Nobody must know. God only knows what would happen if people began to suspect we can't even get our own dead to lie down and be buried. This is the goddamnedest war! You know, they never said anything about this sort of thing at West Point. Remember, it must be kept quiet. Not a word. Quiet as the grave.
Did you hear about those guys who won't let themselves be buried, Joe? Yeah, I heard. Never know what's around next in this lousy war. What do you think about it, John? Well, what the hell are they getting out of it? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, just making things harder. Yeah, I heard all about him. Buried him. That's what I say. Buried him.
I don't know, Charlie. I kind of can see what they're aiming at, you know? I mean, I would like to be underground now. I wouldn't. What the hell for, huh?
What's the difference?
There's a difference, alright? I mean, it's kind of cool being alive. It's kind of nice being on top of the earth and seeing things and hearing things and smelling things.
Yeah. Smelling stiff, there ain't that time to be buried.
Yeah, but it's better than having a dirt pack on your face, huh?
Sure is sweet.
I guess those guys felt sort of shit, huh? When they started throwing the dirt on them. They just couldn't stand it, they didn't know that.
They're dead, ain't they? I mean, nobody's putting them underwear. They're still alive.
But it amounts to the same thing. I mean, what are they? They're puzzle of kids. And,
Yeah.
and kids should be dead. Or, I mean, that's what they must have figured when they started throwing the dirt in them. What the hell are they doing dead, huh? Did anybody ask them? Did they want to stand there when the left were?
No.
They're just kids. Or guys with wives and kids of their own, and they just wanted to be home reading a book. Or they wanted to teach their kids CAT spells cat. Or they wanted to take the woman out in the car into the country. And a wind blowing. That's how it must have come to them. And the dirt smacked on their faces. They don't know that, huh?
They're dead, and they stink. Bury them.
Did you hear what I said?
Remember, nobody must know. Not a word. Quiet as the grave.
That's the story. And it's as straight as a rifle barrel, so help me God.
Well, this is a freak, all right. I never came across anything like this in all the years I've been putting out a newspaper.
There never was anything like this before. It's something new. Something's happening. Somebody's waking up.
It didn't happen.
So help me God, I got it straight. Those guys just stood up in the grave and said, the hell with it. You can't bury us. God's honest truth.
Get me McCready at the War Department. It's an awfully funny story.
What about it? It's the story of the year, the story of the century, the biggest story of all time. Men getting up with bullets in their hearts and refusing to be buried.
Yeah, who do they think they are? Jesus Christ?
That's the difference. That's the story. You can't miss it. Are you going to put it in?
Hold it!
Listen, are you going to...
McCready!
What does he got to do with it?
I'll find out. What are you so hot about? Hello, McCready! Hanson from the New York. Yeah, listen, McCready. I got this story about 6 guys who refused to be... Yeah.
What does he say?
Well, if that's the way the government feels about it, yeah.
Well,
No.
holy God. You've got to. People got a right to know.
In a time of war, people got a right to know nothing. If we put it in, it'd be censored anyway.
This is a lousy business.
Look, write another human interest story about the boys at the front. That'll keep you busy. You know that one about the boys at the front line singing I Can't Give You Anything But Love right before they go over the top?
But I wrote that last week.
Yeah, and it made a great hit. Write it again.
But these guys in the grave, boss, I mean, Lloyds are giving 3 to 1, they won't go down. That's the story.
Well, save it. You can write a book of memoirs 20 years from now. Make that I Can't Give You Anything But Love story 1,000 words and make it snappy. We got a casual list that runs into 2 pages tonight. We got to balance it with something.
There are. What are the generals going to do about them?
I can see them. Stop saying what are the generals going to do about them.
Who do they think they are?
It's against all regulations.
Quiet, please. Let's not have any scenes here. This story must be handled, this situation must be handled with authority and tactfully. I'll talk to them. Men, listen to me. Now, this is a strange situation in which we find ourselves. And I have no doubt that it is causing you as much embarrassment as it is causing us.
The wrong note. He was good in artillery, but when it comes to using his head, he is lost. He's been that way ever since I knew him.
We're all anxious to get this thing over with just as quickly and quietly as possible. I know you men are with me on this. There's no reason why we can't get together and have this thing settled in jig time. Now I grant, my friends, that it's unfortunate that you're dead. But I know you'll all listen to reason. And listen, too, to that voice of duty. The same voice that led you here to die bravely for your country. Gentlemen, your country demands of you that you lie down and allow yourselves to be buried. Must our flag fly at half-mast and droop in the wind while you so far forget your duty to the lovely land that bore and nurtured you? I love America, gentlemen. Its hills and its valleys. If you loved America as I do, you would not I find it hard to go on. Gentlemen, I've studied this matter carefully, and I've come to the conclusion that it's the best thing for everyone would be for you men to lie down and allow yourselves to be buried.
It isn't war. You wasn't firm enough. You have to be firm right from the beginning or you're lost!
Men, perhaps you don't understand. I advise you to lie down and allow yourselves to be buried. You're dead men, don't you realize that? You can't be dead and be standing here like that. Look, I will prove it to you. A doctor's reports. Witnessed by Privates McGurk and Butler. You're dead, officially. All of you. I don't mince words. You heard me. We are a civilized race. We bury our dead. Now lie down. Private Driscoll, Private Shelling, Private Morgan, Private Webster, Private Levy, Private Dean. Lie down. As Commander-in-Chief of this Army, as appointed by the President of the United States of America, in accordance with the Constitution, and as your superior officer, I command you to lie down and allow yourselves to be buried. Tell me, what is it going to get you staying above the earth? I asked you a question, men. Answer me. What is it going to get you? If I were dead, I would not hesitate to be buried. Answer me. What do you want? What is it going to get you? Tell me. Answer me. Why don't you talk? Explain it to me. Make me understand.
He is late. It was a mistake moving him off the artillery.
They had to let me handle them. I showed them. We need to use force.
Lie down. God! God! God!
I'd land, all right. They ought to call me in. I'd land. There wouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind after I got through with them. They ought to call me in instead of those generals. What do generals know about such things? Hey, Mabel, call the War Department. Tell them we're willing to come to the rescue at the prevailing rates. Yeah, tell them we're willing to do our part like the papers say. Share the burden. Say, Johnny, what you doing tonight? How'd you like? Share the burden. Oh my God.
This is a funny war, huh? It's rolling downhill. Hey, everybody's waiting. Personally, I think these guys.
Nobody asked you.
I'm just saying.
You're not supposed to talk about it.
Regulation 203.
Yeah, well, I just told you. I want you to take a look at these guys. Look! Now, how the hell do you think they feel with you howling like that? They got more important things to think about.
I won't distract them. I got an easy point.
Well, they don't like it!
I do. I like the way she sings. You know what? I bet they do too. Well, I'll go and ask them.
Now, listen! Sergeant! Yes, sir!
You know that none of these men is to talk to them.
Yes, sir, only so.
Yeah, all right. Get back there, please.
Yes, sir.
Shut up.
Shut up. We'll see what's going on in there.
Gentlemen, I've been being asked by the general to talk to you. My work is not this. I'm a scientist. I'm a philosopher. My uniform is a pair of eyeglasses. My usual weapons are test tubes and books. And perhaps in a time like this, we need science, we need philosophy. But first, I must say that your general has ordered you to lie down.
We used to have a general.
No more.
They sold us.
What do you mean, sold you?
You sold us for 25 yards of bloody mud.
A life. For 4 yards of bloody mud.
We had to take that hill. General's orders. You soldiers, you understand.
We understand the real estate operations of generals, but they're always carried out at boom prices.
A life. For 4 yards of bloody mud. Rare jewels are cheaper. Diamonds, pearls, and rubies.
I fell in the first yard.
I caught on a wire and hung there while the machine gun stitched me through the middle to it. I made it all the way to the end, and I thought I'd have life in my hands for another day. And then a shell splinter came and my life dripped into the mud.
You asked the general how he'd like to be dead at 20. 20, General. 20.
All the men are dead.
Too many.
Men must die for the country's sake. This has always been, not you others. Men died for Rome and Pharaoh and Caesar 2,000 years ago and more. Why not you?
Men, even the men who died for Pharaoh and Caesar and Rome, must in the end, before all hope is gone, come to realize that a man can die happy and be buried contently only when he dies for himself or a cause that's his own, and not Pharaoh's, Caesar's, or Rome's.
Still, what is this world that you cling to it? What is this world that you cling to it? A speck of dust? A flaw in the skies? A thumbprint on the margin of a page printed in an incomprehensible language?
It is our home.
We have been dispossessed by force, but now we're reclaiming our home. It's time for mankind to reclaim its home. This earth is home.
We have no home. We're strangers in the universe, and we cling desperate and grimy to the crust of the world. And if there is a God, and this is his earth, it must be a terrible sight in his eyes.
We are not disturbed by your notion of our appearance in the eyes of God.
The earth is a mean place. When you're rid of it, you're well rid of it. Man cheats man here, and the only sure things are death and despair. What use then to remain on it once you get permission to leave?
There's the one thing we know. We did not ask permission to leave. No one asked us if we wanted it. The generals pushed us out and closed the doors on us. Who are the generals to close the doors on us?
The earth, I assure you, is a mean place. Insignificantly miserable.
We must discover that for ourselves. That's our right.
Man has no right.
Man can make rights for himself. All it takes is the determination and goodwill of ordinary men. We have made ourselves the right to walk this earth, seeing it and judging it for ourselves.
There is peace in the grave.
Peace, and the worms, and the roots of the grass. But there is much deeper peace than that which comes from feeding the roots of the grass.
Yes, gentlemen.
No, I'm really glad you. Thanks for.
Listen, soldier.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Yeah. You can sing.
Swing low
Jesus, our God, our Christ, who has redeemed us with thy blood on thy cross at Calvary, give us thy blessing. Give us thy blessing on this holy day, and cause it that our soldiers be buried in peace, and bring victory to our arms, enlisted in thy cause and thy cause of all righteousness on the field of battle. Amen.
Please God, keep it quiet.
Well, what are you going to do?
Do I have to do anything?
Goddamn right you do. They're still standing up. And they're gonna stand up from now till doomsday. You won't be able to bury soldiers anymore. It's in the stars.
All right.
You've got to say something about it.
All right. Put this in. It's alleged that certain members of an infantry regiment refuse to allow themselves to be buried.
Well,
That's all.
that's all?
Yes. Christ, isn't that enough?
It has been reported that certain American soldiers killed on the field of battle have refused to allow themselves to be buried. Whether this is true or not, the coast-to-coast broadcasting system feels that this must give an American public an idea of an indomitable spirit of the American doughboy in this war. We cannot rest until this war is won, even our brave dead boys.
You have any suggestions?
Think so? Get their women.
What good will that do?
Well, women are always conservative. And it is a conservative notion, this one of lying down and allowing yourself to be buried when you're dead. The women will fight the general's battle for them in the best possible way through their emotions. It's the general's best bet.
Women. Women. Of course. You got it there, Captain. Get out there, women. Get them down here in a hurry. We'll have these boys underground in a jiffy. Women. Thank God, I never thought of that. Send out the call, Captain. Women.
We have been asked by the War Department to broadcast an appeal to the women of privates Driscoll, Shelling, Morgan, Webster, Levy, and Dean reported dead. The War Department requests that the women of these men present themselves at the War Department office immediately. It is within to do the great service to their country.
Ladies, go to your men. Talk to them. Make them see the error of their ways. You women represent what is dearest in our civilization, the sacred foundations of the home. We are fighting this war to protect the foundations of the homes of America. Those foundations will crumble utterly if these men of yours are allowed to come back from the dead. I shudder to think of the consequences of such an act. Our entire system will be mortally struck. Our banks will close, our buildings will collapse. Our armies will desert the field of battle and leave our fair land open to be overrun by the enemy. Ladies, you are all gold star mothers and wives and sweethearts. You want to win this war. I know this. I know the high fire of patriotism that burns in women's breasts. That is why I've called upon you. Ladies, let me make this clear to you. If you do not get your men to lie down in their graves and allow themselves to be buried, I fear that our cause is lost. The burden of this war is upon your shoulders now. Wars are not won with guns and powder alone, ladies. This is your chance to do your part, a glorious part. You are fighting for your homes, your children, your sisters' lives, and your country's honor. You're fighting for religion, for love, and for all decent human life. Wars can only be fought and won when the dead are buried and forgotten. And how can we forget the dead who refuse to be buried? And we must forget them! There's no room in this world for dead men. They will lead you only to the bitterest unhappiness. For you, for them, for everybody. Go now. Fulfill your duty. Your country waits upon you.
How's the kid, Bess?
He's fine. Talks now. He weighs 28 pounds. He'll be a big boy. Did it hurt much, John?
How's the farm? Is it going alright, Bess?
It's going. The rye was heavy this year. Did it hurt much, John?
Who did the reaping for you, Bess?
Schmidt took care of it. And his boys? Schmidt's too old for the war and his boys are too young. Took him nearly 2 weeks. The wheat's not bad this year. Schmidt's oldest boy expects to be called in a month or 2. He practices behind the barn with that old shotgun Schmidt used for duck.
The Schmidts were always fools. When the kid grows up, Bess, you make sure you pump some sense into his head. What color's his hair?
Brown, like you. What are you going to do, John?
I would like to see the kid in the farm.
They
Maybe.
say you're dead, John.
I'm dead, alright.
And how is it?
I don't know. Maybe there's too many of us under the ground now. Maybe the earth can't stand it no more. You got to change crops sometime. What are you doing here, Bess?
They asked me to get you to let yourself be buried.
What do you think?
You're dead, John.
Well,
Oh, what's the good?
I don't know. There's something in me, dead or no dead, that won't let me be buried.
You were a queer man, John. I never did understand what you were about. But what's the good?
Bess, I never talked to you so I could get you to understand what I wanted while before. Maybe now. There's a couple of things, Bess, that I ain't had enough of. Easy things. Things you see when you look out your window at night after supper, when you wake up in the morning. Things you hear when you're busy with the horses or pitching the hay, and you don't really notice them, and yet they come back to you. Things like fuzz of green over the field in spring where you planted wheat and start to come out overnight. Things like looking at rows of corn, tall and green, scraping in the breeze. Things like seeing the sweat come out all over on your horse's fat flank and seeing it shine like silk in front of you so one horsey and strong. Things like seeing the loam turn back, all fat and deep brown. As the plow turns over, so it gets to be awful hard walking behind it. Things like taking a cold drink of water after you boiled in the sun all afternoon and feeling it go down and down into you, all cooling you off from the inside out. Things like seeing a blonde kid, all busy and serious, playing with the dog on the shady side of the house. There ain't nothing like that down here, Bess.
Everything has its place, John. Dead men have theirs.
My
places on the earth, Bess. My business is with the top of the earth, not the underside. It was a trap that yanked me down. I'm not smart, Bess. I'm easy trapped. But I can tell now, I got some stories to tell farmers before I'm through. I'm gonna tell them.
We could bury you at home, John. Near the creek. It's cool there and quiet, and there's always a...
Later, Bess. When I have my fill of looking and smelling and talking, I may be able to walk into his grave and I'll be dragged into it.
How will I feel? And the kid with you walking around like that?
I won't bother you. I won't come near you.
Even so, just knowing.
I can't help it, Bess. This is something bigger than me, bigger than you. Something I had nothing to do with starting. It's something that just grew up out of the earth like a weed. Cut it down now, it'll jump up in a dozen new places. You can't stop it. The earth's ready for it.
You're a good husband, John. For the kid and me, won't you?
Go home, Bess. Go home.
You love me best, didn't you, Henry? Of all of them, all those women, you love me best, didn't you?
What's the difference now?
I want to know.
It's not important.
It's important to me. I know about the others. About Doris and Shifty-Eyed Janet. You're not a live man, are you, Henry?
No. I'm all shut away inside.
Must the wars always be fought in the mud like this? I didn't expect it to look like this. It looks like a dump heap.
Got in your shoes, Maddie, John. They're pretty shoes.
You like them? I like them too. They're lizard. So hard to find good shoes nowadays.
Do you still dance, John?
Oh, I'm really much better. There's so many dances back home nowadays. Dances for orphan reliefs and convalescent hospitals and victory loans. I'm busy 7 nights a week. I sold more than any of the other girls in the league. I even got a helmet, one of theirs with a bullet hole in it, for selling 11,000 worth.
Out here we get them for nothing. With million bullet holes. No.
Sounds bitter. You shouldn't sound bitter.
I'm sorry.
I heard Colonel Elwell speak the other day. You know old Anthony Elwell, who has the mill? He was speaking at the monthly Red Cross banquet, and he said that that was the good thing about this war, that it wasn't being fought bitterly by our boys. There was just patriotism that kept us going. He's a wonderful speaker, Colonel Elwell. I cried and cried.
I remember him.
Henry, do you think we're going to win this war?
What's the difference, John?
Henry, what way to speak? I don't know what's gone into you, really, I don't. Wait, the papers say that if they win, they're going to tear down our museums and burn our churches and rape our women. Why are you laughing, Henry?
I'm dead, John.
Then why? Why don't you let them bury you?
There are a lot of reasons. There were a lot of things that I love on this earth.
A dead man can't touch a woman.
The woman, yes, but more than touching them. I got a great joy just from listening to women, hearing them laugh, watching their skirts blow in the wind, noticing the way they pressed, bounced up and down inside the dresses when they walked. Had nothing to do with touching them. I like to hear the sound of the high heels on pavements at night, and the tenderness of their voices when they walk past me hand in hand with a young man. You were so lovely, John. With your curly hair, your long hands.
You always loved my hair.
No woman will walk arm in arm with you, Henry Levy, as long as you cheat the grave.
No. But there will be the eyes of the woman to look at. And the soft way they move the hips when they walk before your man. These are the things that mean life and earth to me. The joy and the pain. These are the things that the earth still owes me when I'm only 30. The joy and the pain, to each man in his own way. A full 70 years to be ended by an horrid fate, not by a colored pin on a general's map. Why? What do I care for a colored pin on a general's map?
They're not just pins, Henry, they mean more.
More? To whom? To the generals, but not to me. To me, they are only colored pins. It's not a fair bargain. This is change of my life for a small part of a color pin.
How can you speak like this, Henry? You know why the war is being fought.
No. Do you?
Yes, of course, everyone does. We must win this war. We must be prepared to sacrifice every last drop of blood. Anyway, what are you going to do?
Do you remember last summer, John? We went to Maine. Man asleep. That's what I would like to remember. The sand and the beach and your soft hands for a long time.
What are you going to do?
Walk the world, looking at the nice long-legged girls, seeing in them something deep and true and passionately vital. And listening to the light voices with ears, the generals will have stopped with graves of solid man.
Henry, you once said you loved me. For the love of me, let them bury you.
Poor John.
For the love of me, don't touch me.
Go home, John. Go home.
Stop crying, Julia. What's the sense of crying now?
No sense. Only that I can stop crying.
You shouldn't have come.
They asked me to come. They said you wouldn't let them bury you. Dead and all.
That's right.
Why don't they kill me too? I'd let them bury me. I'd be glad to be buried to get away from all this. I haven't stopped crying for 2 weeks now. I used to think I was tough. I never cried even when I was a kid. It's a wonder where all those tears can come from. I thought I was all washed out when I heard about the rape that killed Fred, my kid brother. I used to comb his hair in the morning. Well, and then they killed you. They did, didn't they?
Yes, I did.
It's hard to know like this. I know. But it's hard in this way with you like this. I could forget you here. I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna listen to you. It's been so rough. Darling, it's been rough and I get drunk. I hate it and I get drunk. I sing out loud and people laugh at me. I went through your clothes the other day. I'm crazy. I go through all of your things 3 times a week. Touching your clothes, reading your books. You had the nicest clothes. poetry you wrote time you were in Boston. Oh, it's a lovely poem. I think you would have been a fine writer. I think you would have been the greatest writer that ever. Did they shoot your hands away, darling?
No, they didn't.
That's good. I couldn't bear it if something happened to your hands. Was it bad, darling?
Well, bad enough.
But they didn't shoot your hands away, that's something. You have to be grateful for something. People learn how to be grateful for the craziest things nowadays. I never thought of your dad, you know. We were somehow made to be dead. Imagine a stone in a green field with poppies, daisies, and the purple flowers at the bottom, and Walter Morgan, beloved of Julia Blake. The worst thing is looking at all the books you piled up at home. And they're waiting there, waiting for your hands to come and open them. Why don't you let them bury you? There's nothing left here except for crazy people and clothes that will never be used, hanging in closets. There's nothing left. Why not?
Because there are many books I haven't read, many places I haven't been, many memories that haven't kept long. And I don't want to be cheated out of it. I won't.
Me, darling, me. I hate getting drunk. Your name would look so nice in a green field with little flowers at the bottom. Walter Morgan, born 1913, died 1937. Now they can put my name on the casualty list too. What do they call those little purple flowers, darling?
My name's Catherine Driscoll. I'm looking for my brother. He's dead. Are you my brother?
No.
I'm looking for my brother. My name is Catherine Driscoll. His name.
No.
Are you? I'm looking for my brother. My name is Catherine Driscoll. His name is.
I'm Tom Driscoll.
Hello. I don't know you. After 15 years, and
What do you want, Catherine?
you don't know me either, do you?
No.
It's funny. My coming here to talk to a dead man. To try to get him to do something, because once long ago, he was my brother. They talked me into it. I don't know how to begin.
You'd be wasting your words, Katie.
They should have asked someone nearer to you. Someone who loved you. Only they couldn't. I was the nearest, they said.
That's so, the nearest.
And I, 15 years away. Poor Tom. Couldn't have been a sweet life he led all these 15 years.
It wasn't.
You were poor too.
Sometimes I begged for meals. I wasn't lucky.
And yet, you want to go back. Is there no more sense in the dead than in the living, Tom?
Maybe not. Maybe there's no sense in either living or dying. But we can't believe that. You know, I traveled to a lot of places, saw a lot of things. Mostly from the black side of it. Always working hard to keep from starving, or turning my collar up to keep the wind out. And they were mean, rotten, and sad, but always I knew they could be better. And that one day they were going to be better. And guys like me who knew they were rotten and knew they could be better, they had to get out and fight to make it that way.
You're dead. Your fight's over, Tom.
It's never over. I got things to say to people now. The people who nurse big machines, the people who swing shovels, the people whose babies die with big bellies and rotten bones, the people who leave their lives behind them and pick up a gun to go fight in somebody else's war. Important things, big things, big enough to lift me out of this grave and back onto the earth, into the middle of men, just because I have a voice to say to them. If God could lift Jesus.
Tom, have you lost religion too?
No. I got another religion. One that wants to take heaven out of the clouds and put it down here on the earth where most of us can get a slice of it. Now, it wouldn't be a pretty heaven. There wouldn't be any streets of gold or angels. And we'd have to worry about sewage and railroad schedules in it. But it'd be stuck in the mud of this earth. We couldn't guarantee everybody would love it, but there wouldn't be any entrance requirement like dying to get into it. Dead or alive, I see that, and it won't let me rest. I was the first one to stand up in this black grave of ours, because that idea, it wouldn't let me rest. These guys, I pulled these guys up with me. That was my job, pulling the others. They knew what they wanted, but I knew how they could get it.
And still the sense of arrogance on you.
I have heaven in my two hands to give to men. There's a reason for arrogance.
I came here to ask you to lie down and to let them bury you. Seems foolish now.
It is foolish, Catherine. I didn't get up from the dead to go back. I'm going to the living now.
Years. It's a good thing your mother isn't alive, Tom. How do you say goodbye to a dead brother?
Wish him an easy grave, Catherine.
A green and pleasant grave to you, Tom. When finally, green and pleasant.
Let me see your face, son.
You don't want to see it, Ma.
My baby's face. Just once before
You don't want to see it, Ma. I know. Didn't they tell you what happened to me?
I asked the doctor. She said a piece of shell hit the side of your head. But even so.
Don't ask me to see it, Ma.
How are you, son? I forgot. I asked you that question so many times when you were growing up, Jimmy. Let me see your face, Jimmy, just once.
How did Alice take it when she heard the news?
She put a gold star on her window. She tells everybody we're going to be married. Is that so?
Maybe. I liked Alice.
She came over on your birthday. That was before this happened. She brought flowers, big chrysanthemums, yellow, lots of them. We had to put them in 2 vases. I baked a cake. I don't know why. It's hard to find flower eggs nowadays. My baby, 20 years old. Let me see your face, Jimmy.
Go home, Ma! It's not doing you any good staying here.
I want you to let them bury you, son. It's done now and over. It'll be better for you that way.
There's
no better to it. And no worse. It just happened that way, and that's all.
Let me see your face, Jimmy. You had such a fine face, like a good baby's. You know, it hurt me when you started to shave. Somehow I almost forget what you looked like, baby. I remember what you looked like when you were 5, when you were 10. You were chubby and fair, and your cheeks felt like little silk cushions when I put my hand on them. But I don't remember what you looked like when you went away with that uniform on you, that helmet over your face. Let me see your face, baby, just once.
Don't ask me. You do not want to see it. If you see, you will feel worse. Forever.
I'm not afraid. I can look at my baby's face. Do you think mothers can be frightened by their own children?
No, Mom!
Baby, listen to me. I'm your mother. Let them bury you. There's something peaceful and done about a grave. After a while you forget the death and you remember only the life that went before it. But this way, you never forget. It's like a wound, walking around forever without peace. And for your sake, and mine, and your father's, please, baby.
I was only 20, Mom. I had never seen anything. I had never done anything. I never even had a girl. I spent 20 years practicing to be a man, and then they killed me. Being a kid's no good, Mom. You don't really enjoy life when you're a kid. You count time, waiting. And I waited, Mom. And then they cheated me. They made a speech. They played a trumpet. And then they dressed me in this uniform. And then they killed me.
Oh, baby, baby, please. There's no peace this way. Please let them.
No, Ma.
Then once, now, so that I can remember. Let me see your face, baby. My baby face.
The shell hit too close to me. You do not want to see a man when the shell hits too close to him.
Let me see your face, Jimmy.
All right, Mom. Look.
Say something.
What do you want me to say?
Something, anything, we talk. Give me shivers standing there like that, looking like that.
Even now, after all this, there's nothing we could talk to each other about.
Don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. You talked like that enough when you were alive. It's not my fault you're dead.
No.
It was bad enough when you were alive. Didn't talk to me, looked at me as though I was always in your way.
Martha? Martha, what's the difference now?
Just wanted to let you know. Now I suppose you're going to come back, sit around, and ruin my life altogether.
No. I'm not gonna come back.
Then what?
I couldn't explain it to you, Martha.
Oh, you couldn't explain it to me. Of course. But you could explain it to the dirty bunch of loafers down at the damn garage of yours. And you could explain it to those bums in the salon on F Street. Yeah, not me.
I guess I could. Things seemed to be a lot clearer when I was working over a job with the boys down at the garage. And I could talk so people could get to understand my own language down at the saloon on F Street. You know, it was nice standing there on a Saturday night, with a beer in front of you, and a man or two to talk to about, I don't know, Babe Ruth, or the new oiling system Ford was coming, or the chances of us getting into the war.
Listen, it's different. If you had a fine, beautiful life you wanted to go back to, but you were poor. Look at us. Always had this dirt on your fingernails, never ate enough, hated me, your wife. Out of your whole life, all you could remember is a glass of beer on Saturday night. Those bums.
I didn't think about it then, but I guess I was happy those times.
Oh, happy. But you weren't happy in your own home. Well, I wasn't happy either. Living in 3 damn rooms that the sun didn't hit 5 times a year. Watching roaches make picnic on walls. Happy.
I did my best.
$18.50 a week is your best. $18.50. Condensed milk. $2 pair of shoes once a year. This goddamn chopped meat. How I hate this chopped meat. Being afraid of everything of the landlord, gas company. Scared stiff every month that I was going to have a baby. Why shouldn't I have a baby? Who says I shouldn't have a baby? $18.50, no baby?
I would have liked a kid.
Would you? Never said anything.
It's nice to have a kid. A kid is someone you could talk to.
First, in the beginning, I thought we'd have a kid someday.
You know, in the beginning it looked so fine. I used to smile when we would walk down the street together arm in arm, and other men would look at you.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, a kid would have helped.
Don't fool yourself, Webster. Don't fool yourself. The kid wouldn't help. Clark's downstairs, they have 4. It doesn't help them. Old man Clark comes home with every Saturday night, goddamn drunk, beats them with a shaving strap, then throws plates at the old lady. Kids don't help the poor. Nothing helps the poor. Too smart to have sick, dirty kids on 1850.
That's it.
Webster, the house should have a baby, but it should be a clean house with a full icebox. Why shouldn't I have a baby? Other people have babies, even now with the war they have babies. They just don't have to feel their skin curl every time they tear a page of calendar. They go to beautiful hospitals and lovely ambulances, have babies between college shifts. What's there about them that God likes so much that makes it so easy for them to have babies?
They're not married to mechanics.
It's not 1850 for them. Now even worse. $20 a month. You hire yourself out to be killed and I get $20 a month. Wait in line all day to get a loaf of bread. Forgot what butter tastes like. Wait on line all day with the rain soaking through my shoes. And come home at night and nobody to talk to. Nobody. Sitting, watching bugs with a little light because government has to save electricity. What's the word to me? What's the word to me? That I sit at home, nobody to talk to. What's the word to you that to go off and die?
That's why I'm standing up now, Martha.
What took you so long? Why now? Why not months ago? Why not a year ago? Not 10 years ago? Living on
I didn't see it before.
Just like you. There's plenty for life men to stand up for. It's about time you talk back. It's about time. Oh, you poor, miserable 1850 bastards stood up for themselves, for their wives, and for the children they can't have. All right. Tell them all to stand up. Tell them.
It didn't work. Keep it quiet. For God's sake, keep it quiet.
It did work! Now you've got to put it in. I knew it didn't work. Swear it over the headlines! It didn't work!
Put it in the headlines. They won't be buried.
Extra! It didn't work!
It didn't work. They're still standing. Somebody do something.
Somebody do something.
Extra! It didn't work.
Don't let them back in the country.
They're standing. From now on, they'll always stand. You can't bury soldiers anymore.
I stink, bury them.
What are we going to do about it?
What'll happen to our war? We can't let anything happen to our war.
Pray! Pray! God will help us. Get down on your knees, all of you, and pray with your hearts and your guts and the marrow of your
It will
bones.
take more than prayers. What are prayers to a dead man? They're standing. Mankind is standing up.
It
and
didn't
God
work.
is praying.
Extra! It didn't work. They're still standing.
My baby.
My husband.
My lover.
They stink, bury them.
Plant a new crop. Plant something besides lives in the old and weary earth.
Extra! It didn't work. Somebody do something. DuPont's passed the dividend.
The day of judgment is at hand.
Where is Christ?
Bottom away alphabetically, girls.
We don't believe it. It's against the dictates of science.
Keep it quiet.
My husband. My lover.
My baby.
What have they done with my father?
Somebody do something. Somebody call the War Department. Somebody call Congress. Somebody call the Roman Catholic Church. Somebody do something.
You've got to put him down.
Never! Never! You can't put them down. Put one down and 10 will spring up like weeds in an old garden.
Just let them. Let's put them down once, we'll do it again.
Put the sword down and hang the armor on the wall of rust with the years. The
Bury
kill
them.
have arisen.
Bury the dead.
The old demons have come back to possess the earth. We are lost.
The dead have arisen.
Do
Now let the
something.
living rise up singing.
For the love of God, do something!
Extra! It didn't work.
Do something!
We will do something.
Who are you?
We are the church and the voice of God. The state has tried its ways now. Let the church use the ways of God. These men are possessed by the devil who plagues the lives of living men. The church will exorcise the devil from these men according to its ancient rite. And they will lie down to the grave like children to a pleasant sleep, rising no more to trouble the lives of living men. The church, which is the voice upon this earth. Amen.
Hallelujah!
I exercise the unclean spirit in the name of Jesus Christ. Tremble, Satan, thou enemy of mankind, thou foul of faith, who has brought death upon his world, who has rebelled against justice. Oh, thou seducer of mankind, thou root of evil, thou source of avarice, of discord, of envy.
No!
It didn't work.
God has deserted us for our evil ways. This is a new flood without rain.
They are late.
This isn't 1918, this is today.
See what happens tomorrow.
Anything can happen now.
They are coming. We must stop
We
them.
must find ways, find
They're
means.
coming and there will be no ways, no means.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Let me go! What do you want, Let's show them! This is what they needed!
All right. Get it over with. Hurry. But keep it quiet.
I need a crew to man this gun. You come over here. And you! Come over here as well. I'll give the command to fire.
No. Not to me, you won't. I'm over this. I ain't going to touch that gun. None of us will. I didn't get hired out in someone to be no butcher of dead men. You do your own chopping.
You will call marshal, soldier. All of you will die by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, be careful, Sergeant. Be careful. I might take a notion to come up like these fellas. This is the smartest thing I've seen all war. What do you say, friend?
It's about time.
Stop it. All right, stop it. It's bad enough as it is. Just leave him alone. Look, if you're gonna do it yourself.
Go on, do it!
Oh my God.
Walter Morgan, beloved of Julia Blake, born 1913, died 1937.
Let me see your face, baby.
All you could remember is a glass of beer on Saturday night with a couple of bumps.
A green, unpleasant grave.
Did it hurt much, John? He has brown hair and weighs 28 pounds.
You loved me best, did you, Henry? Best?
4 yards of bloody mud.
I understand how they feel, Charlie. I would like to be underground now.
Never. Never. Never.